Picture this. The lights dim, the horns blare, and a slick figure in tinted shades slides across the stage, smiling like he already knows he's about to own the night. The bass hits, the crowd screams, and within seconds, you're transported. Not to the future, not even to the present, but to a golden, glitter-soaked version of the past that somehow feels brand new. That's Bruno Mars's magic trick. He's one of the few artists in pop who doesn't chase what's next. He goes backward, on purpose. And yet, every time he does, it feels fresh. He's the only guy who can release a song that sounds like it was made in 1978, film the video like it was shot in 1984, and still make it dominate the charts in 2025. Bruno Mars doesn't just perform music, he performs time travel. You think you're hearing funk, soul, and R&B from another era, but what you're really hearing is nostalgia re-engineered for now. It's not about bringing the past back, it's about remixing it. And that says something bigger about all of us. In a world that feels too fast, too filtered, too fake, we crave something that feels real. And Bruno, he knows that our idea of real lives in our memory, not in the moment. The vintage mirage. Let's rewind to that moment in 2014 when Uptown Funk dropped. You remember, right? That intro snap, the bassline strut, the kind of swagger that made you straighten your jacket even if you didn't own one like his. It wasn't just a song, it was a vibe that hijacked every party, wedding, and car ride for years. And then came 24K magic. Same spell, different shade, the silk shirts, the poolside gold chains, the synth lines so glossy they could double as mirrors. It was the 80s and 90s rolled into one, but through Bruno's lens, it didn't feel old. It felt perfect. That's because Bruno Mars doesn't recreate the past. He curates it. He takes the grooves of funk, the warmth of soul, the harmonies of Motown, and then polishes them with modern production so clean it could power a spaceship. He's a time traveler who knows how to leave the dust behind. The craft of illusion. Here's the secret. Bruno Mars is not a retro artist. He's an illusionist. He knows exactly how to make something sound classic without sounding dated. Every sound, every chord, every outfit, every camera angle. All of it's crafted like theater. Listen to Leave the Door Open, his collaboration with Anderson .Paak and Silk Sonic. The song oozes 70s soul. Smooth strings, silky harmonies, that candlelight swagger. But under the hood, it's modern production, ultra HD fidelity, digital drums that sound analog, perfection disguised as imperfection. It's a paradox. The more digital music gets, the more people want to feel something human. And that's where Bruno lives, right at the intersection of precision and soul. He uses the tools of the machine to build something that feels handmade, selling emotion. But let's talk about what he's really selling. It's not just sound, it's feeling. There's something psychological about Bruno Mars's appeal. Nostalgia is emotional currency. It makes us feel safe. When we hear his songs, we're reminded of a time when music felt warm, spontaneous, full of live energy, even if we weren't alive to feel it. That's the trick. Nostalgia isn't about memory. It's about emotion dressed up as memory. In an age where pop stars reinvent themselves through shock, Bruno does it through comfort. He gives us grooves we already know how to move to. We don't have to learn the dance. Our bodies already remember it. The philosophy of timelessness. Here's where things get fascinating. Bruno Mars exists outside of time. He's not futuristic, not traditional, he's cyclical. Nietzsche called it eternal recurrence. The idea that culture keeps reliving the same emotions, dressed up in new disguises. Bruno embodies that perfectly. The joy in 24K magic is the same joy James Brown was shouting about in 1965. The tenderness in When I Was Your Man could have been sung by Sam Cooke or Elton John. Bruno's trick is in how he reintroduces those emotions into a world that's forgotten how to feel them. He doesn't pretend to be from another era. He brings that era into ours. Hyper nostalgia, the simulation game. Now let's talk about Baudrillard. Stay with me, we're not going full philosophy class here. Baudrillard said that in modern culture, we don't just imitate reality, we simulate it. We copy the copy until the original doesn't matter anymore. Bruno Mars is the master of that. His music isn't imitation funk or soul. It's hyper-nostalgia. It's nostalgia with no origin. He's showing us that we don't really want the past. We want the feeling of the past, cleaned up, remastered, and ready for streaming. He's the museum curator of pop culture, except everything in his exhibit still moves and dances. The future in disguise. Here's the plot twist. Bruno Mars isn't actually retro. He's futuristic. Think about it. His songs are some of the most technically precise productions in modern music. His live shows are engineered down to the second. His visuals are cinematic. His choreography, algorithm-proof. He's nostalgic. But the infrastructure is ultra-modern. In fact, that might be the biggest illusion of all. He builds a past that runs on future tech. He performs warmth through cold precision. He crafts imperfection so flawlessly that it feels organic. It's the same way vintage filters dominate Instagram. They make the present look lived in. Bruno does that sonically. He puts a filter on the now, and suddenly, it feels timeless. The aura of Bruno Mars. When you watch him live, you understand why Walter Benjamin's idea of aura still matters. That spark, that unrepeatable presence, it's not something you can digitize. Bruno brings that back. Every show is a ritual. The gold lights, the synchronized steps, the crowd shouting every word. It's church for funk believers. But what's wild is how he translates that aura into recorded form. Every clap, every horn, every ad-lib sounds like it's happening in real time. Even when you're streaming him through cheap earbuds, it feels live. That's the aura reborn. An analog illusion in digital space. He's figured out how to make technology serve soul, not the other way around. And in doing that, he's given modern pop something it's been missing: warmth. Nostalgia as survival. Let's be honest, nostalgia isn't just entertainment, it's therapy. In a world that keeps changing faster than we can process, nostalgia is our emotional anchor. Bruno Mars offers that anchor in 3-minute doses. His songs are safety blankets disguised as dance tracks. We don't turn to him for shock or reinvention. We turn to him for reassurance. He reminds us that joy is still possible, that music can still groove, that feelings don't have to be ironic. The paradox of the past. Here's the real twist. Bruno Mars isn't reviving the past. He's reminding us that the past never left. Every time he drops a record, he rewires our timeline. Suddenly, the 70s, 80s, and 90s all coexist in your Spotify queue. And it makes perfect sense, because nostalgia isn't about what decade it came from, it's about what emotion it unlocks. He's not looking backward, he's looping the timeline. He's proving Nietzsche right. Culture doesn't die, it reincarnates. And maybe that's the lesson we need. The future isn't a rejection of the past. It's the remix of it. The takeaway? The nostalgia illusion. Bruno Mars has cracked the code. He's built a career out of making yesterday feel like tomorrow. He thrives in the tension between analog and digital, real and performed, memory and invention. He's not nostalgic because he misses the past. He's nostalgic because he understands its power. He turns emotion into architecture. He turns memory into music. So next time you throw on 24K magic or catch yourself singing Leave the Door Open for the 100th time, remember, you're not reliving the past. You're living inside Bruno Mars's beautifully constructed illusion of it. And if you love digging into how pop stars bend time, emotion, and culture to make us feel something real, subscribe and stick around. Because nostalgia might be an illusion, but the joy it gives us, that's as real as it gets.